It's Bobby, and we back. Welcome back to the Purpose in the Youth podcast. Today in the studio, we got Matty Lohman. What is good, baby?
What's going on?
How you doing?
Doing well.
Just pulled up to Boston at what, 3:30 this morning?
Well, yeah, we got here a little bit earlier.
Earlier.
But you know, I was staying up, having a couple drinks.
Yeah. You are always touring around, man.
Yeah.
Always. Australia, India, probably every state in the country. I would imagine at this point by now you've seen a lot. You've seen a lot.
Pretty close.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Did you ever dream of it actually happening?
You know, I've definitely never thought that it would just come to this point that quickly.
Yeah.
But you know, obviously you have dreams, so it's definitely pretty cool to see it, you know, coming together at this point.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Absolutely.
It's pretty crazy to think, you know, I just from camera I can travel the world. Like, it's definitely
It's a pretty good
definitely
thing.
wild.
It's a pretty good thing. Who is Matty Lohman today? How young is he?
I'm 21.
21.
I'll be 22 in August.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's coming
You
up.
got about a month or so.
Yeah. It's definitely a little bit of a weird feeling. But
How's it feel? Not great.
I mean, the thing is, turning 21, it's definitely a good, like, confirmation. But luckily, you know, since I've been touring for a while, I've never really had a problem with drinking. You know, I've always...
You always find your way around it. You always beat around the bush.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm sure you could always find a way. How did you... Actually, before we get into any of the video, where did you grow up?
I am from Texas, Irving, Texas.
Okay.
So, in Dallas. And pretty much I was there for a little bit of my childhood, not very much. I moved to Virginia.
Virginia.
Yeah, that's where I went to all my schooling.
To high school, okay.
Yeah.
Virginia. What pulled you up there then?
My dad.
Your
My
dad?
dad had a job with Hunting Club.
Hunting Club. Okay.
Yeah. So
Virginia. I don't think I've ever actually been down there, so I don't really know it. Actually, no, I have been. I've been down to like Virginia Beach, actually.
yeah, I was in Northern Virginia, so pretty close to DC.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty beautiful, like the Blue Ridge Mountains. And
Yeah.
it's definitely nice spots. I mean, I lived in a small town called Berryville, which was, you know, for what I was trying to do, not the right place to be. It was sort of like a Hickville, you know.
Yeah.
A lot of country music. Not into country
Not
music.
up your alley. Not
Nah.
up your alley. What was one of the biggest challenges you think you faced growing up?
Honestly, I guess just like life in general. Pretty much. So, going into high school, my dad actually had a problem with his job, and you know, he pretty much lost his job, and then from there it was just really tough. I have 6 siblings,
6.
so
Damn,
you know
guys
that's
got a big family. That's a
lot. That's a lot of mouths to feed.
Absolutely.
So, you know, he lost his job, and just from there it was, you know, it's kind of difficult for him to find, you know, his place, and then, you know, just a lot of things happened, and we lost our house. So from there it was just kind of like going through high school. That was a big challenge, just because, I mean, honestly, I was just sort of on my own. All my other siblings are older than me. I'm the youngest one, so they're all out doing their thing. I'm kind of just stuck here, just trying to go through this whole cycle of, you know.
Yeah. It's a little bit harder, I would imagine, being the... I mean, I'm the oldest of 2, so not 6, but being the oldest of the 2, I felt like I was the one kind of guiding the path, and I always got in trouble for doing things that my sister was able to get away with, but vice versa, it could not benefit you being the youngest of all the kids.
Yeah, I mean, usually people think, you know, when you're the youngest, you're just, you know, you're just like, everyone helps you out, like you're the spoiled one, and just, you know. But it was just, it was definitely a different circumstance with me as far as my situation, you know.
Were there any, like, certain lessons, I guess, from that entire experience that have kind of helped you get to where you are today?
Honestly, yeah, because let's say, like, when was it? It's pretty much the beginning of high school. Honestly, I could say I was pretty close to being homeless. So
really,
I think, yeah, honestly, it was, you know, my dad, like, I just couldn't. I was in the situation, and like, it was just like bringing me down. So I kind of just left, and I would just stay with my friends, like, whenever I could, you know, just switch around, just because, you know, we lost our house. So it was definitely a different situation. Plus, going through high school, like you want to have friends and like hang out with people. And,
Yeah.
Like, I was always so embarrassed to just I don't want to hang out. Like, it was definitely. But no, honestly, it's like a blessing in disguise. Like, I learned so much. I had to be on my own, so it just helped me for at this point. So I'm already a little bit ahead of what the other people.
Absolutely. You were put into a position of having to pretty much figure it out.
Yeah.
Whereas
exactly.
other kids your age are just kind of doing their thing, like having fun.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I'm not saying like I'm a different like I have advantage, or I mean just the situation I was in. It helped me. I'm not throwing shade at anyone who's had a comfortable life.
Absolutely.
Obviously, like no chance.
This is all about you. This is not. I get it. This is just your experience, like what you've gone through, like nobody else. Who would you credit the most to being the most influencing to how you've gotten to where you are today? Then, what person?
I'd probably say my dad.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah. Just because even through all that, like dysfunction and everything that happened, he still, supported my family to the most he could. He didn't, he had no money, but he still, that didn't matter.
Nah, he made it work.
Yeah, he would nonstop. Like, he definitely brought us kids up in the right way, 100%.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's pretty much he motivates me for everything pretty much. Like that is my goal, to have him comfortable for the rest of his life. So
that's dope.
That's what I'm working towards.
That's the same motivation for me, just kind of give it back to the parents in some way, some shape or form.
Back to the fam.
Absolutely. When did you pick up a camera for the first time and kind of get into the videos then?
Dang. Honestly, probably in middle school.
Class project or?
No, one of my best friends, Dane Duncan. We lived in the country, so we pretty much did anything. We shot guns, like rode dirt bikes. Like, oh my God. We just had it was pretty fun. But yeah, I got the first camera I had was a flip video.
Okay.
You know what that is? They're like the little white.
I think I have one of those.
Yeah, and it's the little USB just like pops out.
Yes.
So that was one of the first ones we had, and we would just mess around with that, making just like little home videos, action videos. It was difficult because it was just me and him, so we had to make the storyline work to show
just
that it wasn't just both of us just filming each other. We had to set it up, and
you guys would dress up, probably wear different things.
Yeah, no, really. Honestly, I wish I could like show you some links of these videos because they're pretty funny. But maybe I'll find some and.
It's an initial start, though. You know what I mean? Like
no, but yeah,
you have to start somewhere to get to where you're at. We just played around
with it all the time and just continue to do it. And then I'd say eventually, when I got into high school, is when I started, realizing
something could work.
Definitely.
That there was a passion behind it. Speaking of high school, I was doing some research and I came across your Facebook, and I saw a picture of you with Mike Rowe from a national video contest that you had won.
I was gonna bring up.
2013.
Yeah, so that's
what?
That's pretty much what it led up to. So basically, senior year, this was the first year that my high school, Clark County High School, had a media class.
First year ever.
First year ever.
Wow.
Ever in that school, and so obviously I was pretty interested. I joined with one of my Dane.
Mm-hmm.
He joined as well, and another couple of my best friends. And so, obviously, I mean, it was the first year, so it was pretty basic. Like, I probably could have taught the class, honestly. But I think it was good for us just because it brought us opportunities like that, like competitions. So, the first one was statewide. Obviously, it was more school-related, so, like, workplace videos. It wasn't more like just do whatever you want.
Yeah.
It was just... It definitely had to have
there's some type of curriculum or structure that you had to follow.
Dealing with education and like youth, workplace, and all that. So we started out with a statewide competition, and we made the video for that. And then we found out we were like finalists, and then we went to where was it? I think it was Williamsburg.
Where's that in?
Williamsburg, Virginia. I think that's right. Yeah, I think it's Williamsburg, Virginia.
Okay.
Maybe correct that if I'm wrong, but if anything. But so yeah, we went to the competition and turned out we won it. So that was
Did you see that coming at
No,
all?
no,
That was just like out of nowhere.
Our teacher was like, "Yeah, you guys made it in the final 3," and we were like, "Oh, cool." So then we went there, and then, we got the award. It was pretty cool.
So why was Mike Rowe part of that?
That was the statewide. That was the first one.
Oh.
And then this one came up afterwards.
Okay.
And so did it again, and found out we made top 10. And this was obviously a lot bigger. It was for Skills USA. I don't know if you've ever heard anything. It's pretty big. I guess it's a pretty big deal nowadays. But yeah, we went to Kansas City. Took a road trip with my friends. We went to Kansas City, and there was like 30,000 people in that arena.
30,000. And this was all just high school kids making videos.
Yeah, it's so basically Skills USA is just so many different, whether it be welding or like just like workmanship, and then there was a video, also a video. Sorry.
No, you're good.
My bad.
So it's essentially an organization that brings in all different talents
just all
and skills.
youth. Yeah, and it's just everyone's got a different job, and it's pretty crazy.
Yeah,
I mean, 30,000 kids there.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah,
and especially for you being in your senior year of high school to see like this is like possibly something that if you're already seeing that.
That's pretty much what really stamped in my mind was like, okay, maybe I could do something with this. So
did you? Wow, that is crazy. Did you go to college or no?
I didn't.
Nah, I didn't think so.
No.
I mean, if you see something like that happen, it's kind of like, why not keep chasing this and seeing what I can kind of make happen?
Obviously, I still want to go to college, but the situation I was in, unless I got a lot of scholarships, it would definitely be
then wouldn't make sense.
Yeah, just as far as funding and whatnot.
Yeah. So what did you do then after high school? You're done with school. You're not going to college.
So pretty much, I got out of high school, and then I started working at Costco.
Fire.
Yeah, which
pays
I'm not gonna knock it. It was a pretty good job.
I've done some we've had in my classes at school. We did some research. They are like amazing to their employees. They treat.
Yeah, I had literally. So I was getting like 12 an hour, plus I had benefits, which is pretty crazy.
Wow.
Like, I worked in the food court, which I do not.
You don't want to go back there?
Never want to. First and last job, let's just say that.
Wow.
It was a lot of work, but it brought in what I needed to keep
That was
living.
pretty much paying the bills while on the side you were still making
I was just
making
messing
videos
around with video, of course.
Wow.
And then, so let's say I worked at Costco for about a year, and I actually knew the manager, Billy Wallace, and I was just getting so tired of it. It was the same thing, every day. You're not learning anything. You're just
showing up, clocking in, doing what you have to do and leave.
Honestly, it is like when they talk about 9 to 5, like it really is. Like, unless you enjoy what you do, which most people don't.
Yeah.
So I just came up to him. I was like, look, I'm interested in this video work, and I want to see where it can take me. And I told him I gave him my 2 weeks, and then funny enough, after that, like 10 days later, I ended up going on tour with Afrojack. So,
What?
Yeah.
10 days later?
Honestly, honest to God.
How did that even happen?
So basically, one of my friends, Connor Troxel, he knew a DJ named Party Thieves. I think they made some type of song together, and he pushed him off to me because he needed a video guy. Party Thieves needed a video guy, so Connor told him, he was like, connect with my boy Matty. And so we started, talking. He liked my work, and then he flew me out to Vegas for EDC. So that was.
You're like, all right, something's working.
All right, let's do it.
It's huge.
I went there, and he was there on. He wasn't actually like on the bill as far as performing. It was more of a So EDC was like inviting artists that were coming up
just to show up.
Yeah,
just to be a part of the festival
and just to see, you know, what it's like. So he actually ended up not even playing a set, and you know, so it was kind of unfortunate for him. But I actually ended up somehow I was just, you know, filming everything. Actually, wait, let's take a few steps back because there was someone before that. Yeah, we missed a whole section. We need to
go back.
We need to go back. So, am I allowed to talk about like drugs and everything?
To be honest, just be honest. This is exactly what it's for.
So, this is the first time I was ever introduced to DJ like sets and, you know, the whole production.
Yeah.
So Dane, you know, he came in earlier, and he asked me in DC there was a big show, Cap Slap. Have you ever heard of Cap Slap?
Heard of it.
Yeah, Jared's a cool guy. So basically he was like, yo, I got acid, and I want to go to this DJ set. It's supposed to be crazy, sold out. So me and all my friends went. We tripped acid, and as I was there, I was just watching the whole production of everything, and I was like, wow, this would be pretty awesome to capture with an actual camera. So funny enough, I got my friend's phone because my phone was dead, and I just started, you know, taking a couple clips. And the next day I just edited a little video and put it on my Instagram. And Cap Slap's manager somehow found it and was like, hey, this is cool. Like, can you send it over to me, email it to me? And so I started talking to him. I was like, yeah, this is just shot with an iPhone. You know, I do actual videography if you're interested as far as that. And then he told me to come out to his next show in Charlottesville. And then that was the first show I ever filmed as far as.
Wow.
Yeah. And so that's what led up. I forgot all the steps, you know. It's been a while.
I'm sure.
So I'm sorry that I skipped over that whole section.
You're good.
But yeah, that was the first time I ever, you know, I shot a DJ set in there. I met this dude named Gazzo. He's another DJ, and he was the first one who flew me out. He flew me out to EDC New York.
Man, so you were just getting flown some of the biggest like shows in the country.
They're like, you know, they're obviously smaller artists, but you know, you work your way up. So like that was the first time. So I went to EDC New York. His set was awesome. He really killed it. He was opening at like 1, which I think the festival opens at 11, and he still brought out probably like 5,000 people. And
that's
yeah,
no
so
joke.
later
that's
on
no
that
joke.
night, Afrojack was on, and that's when the first time somehow I still had my camera out when his set was going on. I was just, you know, they have artist passes, so they tell you, you know, who you're filming for. Like, you can't film for
So
anyone else.
you're not even supposed to allowed to.
Yeah,
film for
I'm
anybody
not.
else.
I wasn't
Okay.
even allowed to have my camera out at this point. So I was just kind of, you know, scheming through, just trying to get as much footage as I could. I mean, I had a pretty cool opportunity, so.
Why not, right?
Yeah, so, you know, it was the nighttime, and I was just shooting around, and Afrojack was on, and I was just watching, like, production is insane, like, fireworks going off, and I was like, wow, this is crazy. And I saw, like, a crew over by the side behind the fence, saw them just mobbing out, and it looked like they were a part of his crew. So I went up to him, I was like, is there a, you know, videographer filming this, like, capturing him, like, anything? And he was like, no, go up there. And I was like, what do you mean? Just go up there? Like, my pass says Gazzo. They know I'm not, you know, filming. He's like, no, just tell him you're here for Nick. And I was like, all right, say less. So I walked up.
I'm up.
I walked up, and the security guard was like, he already saw me earlier. He was like, no, like, you're off.
You're good.
Yeah, you're not coming up here. And I was there just begging because it looked like, you know, he was just a security guard, but there was another guy behind him. He looked like the stage manager. So I just, like, looked up after him. I was like, I'm filming for Nick. I swear. Like, and he like, thought about it for a second, and then he just.
Wow,
like,
he gave you the green light.
Yeah.
Okay.
I went up there, and I shot it, and Nick, which is Afrojack, he saw the footage afterwards, and he loved it, and that's where it comes into Party Thieves. That's where that happened. So
Okay.
I flew out to Vegas. All that happened, and then Afrojack actually DM'd me, and he was like, are you going to be in Vegas this weekend? And so I came out and shot another one of his sets. And then after that point, he after his set, he just came down and talked to me. He was like, look, I'm going on a summer tour. I don't know what your plans are or what you're doing, but I'd like for you to be on it. And then
you're like, I'm down, like I'm game. So that was the first tour you had ever been on.
First tour, that was in Europe. Yeah.
In Europe too?
Yeah, that was all over Europe.
Oh man, this is not even the U.S. This is Europe.
No, yeah, it was, and so I'm 19 at this point, so it was never really traveled in my life, so it was definitely a pretty crazy experience.
Dude, all of Europe, man, that is like a dream for me. I'm trying to get over there as soon as possible. But
yeah, we went from, let's say, London, Greece, Mykonos, to Ibiza, Amsterdam, Germany. It was,
and you're 19 at this time. People
plus it was on a jet, which was pretty insane.
Private jet?
Yeah. It didn't even seem real at that point.
People from Costco are like checking in with you and be like, "Yo, what is Maddie doing? This guy was just working here
honestly
2 months ago."
It's insane. Like, it doesn't even make sense.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's weird when you take like that leap of just like I'm out, I'm gonna quit, and just kind of figure it out, and it just kind of falls into place.
Just for you to just jump out and just, just let. I mean, some people say, it's God, but, you have to take that step out of your comfort zone, of course.
Yeah. That's unreal. So I'm like surprised that even he didn't have like an actual filmer in the
yeah.
From the jump.
That's what I was also. I went up to him. I was like, "Is anybody capturing this?" Like, I was like, "How not? Like, why isn't
anybody doing this?"
I mean, the thing is, I feel like once they get to that big, they don't really care about it anymore. I'd say. They're not so crazy about that whole.
They're just worried about the people in front of them, making sure everybody's having a good time, and whether they have a picture to throw up on Instagram or this video, it's like whatever. Like it doesn't really matter to me.
Yeah,
that's interesting. How did you get connected with Sammy Adams then? Did that kind of happen along the way too, or?
Yeah, it definitely happened along the way. It was so Connor Troxel, the guy who originally linked me up with Party Thieves. He's also a rapper, so
okay.
They had a show in DC, I think. Him, Ryan Oakes, Arizona Zervis. I don't know if you've heard of them, but yeah, they're a couple of my good pals. And then they were opening up, and so Ryan, he was a good friend of mine, so he asked me, hey, can you come shoot me at this show? We're gonna be in DC, and so we got there. It's actually funny because apparently he didn't. Let Sammy's crew know that he was going to have a filmer there for him. And so they were
not happy about it.
They were not happy about that. So technically we weren't even allowed to film. But Sammy was there, and he actually came up to me first, and he was like, "Hey, what's good?" Like, he just introduced himself. He's a real one for sure.
Yeah.
So after that point, that I didn't really talk to him much after that, and then I was at West Virginia University, just there with Connor, just partying a little bit, and then we saw that he had a show in Fairmont. Sammy did. So we hit up his manager. We were like, "Hey, I'm 20 minutes away from you. If you wanna, I got my camera and everything. If you wanna,
let me come shoot."
Yeah. So then I came out to that, and then from there we just hit it off. So.
Damn. Yeah. I was gonna say that's how I met you, was through the long way tour. That's what it was, the last tour. And that was, I think, the first time I might have seen Sammy years ago, like long time ago, like 4 or 5 years ago. But seeing like his production and the way his stage performance and his energy, you get what you pay for essentially. Like he really, 100%. You could tell that it's not just him. I watch some of these videos of like artists on stage, and I'm like, what? Are you actually getting paid to do this? Like, how are you getting paid? And it's just it's not even a performance.
He has so much energy, especially like how long he's been doing it. I mean, which would help.
Yeah.
But
get better with it.
But sometimes I feel like when you're in there for that long, you sort of just get tired of it, and just people don't have any more motivation to just really put on a show. But he's always just going. He's going hard. Always, yo. He's one of the best performers I've seen, 100%.
What's been one of the most memorable moments for you working with him? Because you guys were on the road for, what, 2 months for that tour?
Yeah, we had the Long Way tour, and then the last tour, the Senioritis tour.
Yeah.
That was a long one, too. And now he's on Warped Tour right now.
That's a long tour,
he's
too.
He's nonstop.
That is a crazy tour.
I don't know. I'd say the most memorable is just, when it's at the end of the night, we're a little buzzed, and we're just, sitting on the tour bus just talking. Just because he's just a real person. He doesn't, he's genuine as hell, and he just talks about life, and it's just, I don't know. I'd say that's the most important part. Yeah. Obviously, because we talk about our lives and just go back and forth, and it's, it's so much. It's like you can actually connect to this guy, who's bringing you out on this tour. So
he's
not a lot of people just go out of their way to have a conversation with the whole crew, just talk real, because
they know they are the show.
Yeah,
people are paying to see this person. They don't necessarily have to be of any interest to anybody else or have any conversation, because they are. It's like the humbleness, but it's also like the ego of, this is my show. I've been working all my life to get to this point. Like, I don't blame people, but at the same time,
like, I own this bus.
Yeah,
all that. Like, nah, he's I can't stress enough. He's probably one of the most real people I've met as far as in the music industry.
Yeah. How do you balance the whole aspect of living out of a suitcase on a tour bus in a new city every day, and you still have to put out content or give him whatever?
It's
you
tough.
Know what I mean? Yeah.
Because I definitely like to party a lot. So, and whenever me and Sammy are together, it's
bad news.
It's bad.
You don't have to go into detail, but I would imagine it's probably some bad news. You can. I've definitely seen some things that I just know you guys have a good time.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. You definitely have to, measure it out, because when you're, going that hard each night, you start to lag. So you gotta
watch yourself.
Yeah, you gotta take a few steps and have a couple recoup days.
Yeah.
But yeah, plus just pretty much, the workflow is just crazy. You're just nonstop, like, importing footage at night, starting on an edit, and then waking up in the morning and just trying to kill it out so you can start the new.
Somebody get me a water, Gatorade.
Yeah.
Not feeling so
Pedialyte.
Hot. Pedialyte. Oh.
Pedialyte is what saves you.
You guys have a whole bin of them on the tour.
Honestly, that's
that is a lifesaver.
An emergency.
Oh my god. So up to most recently, you were just back again to Party Thieves. Were you on his entire Grand Theft Army World Tour, or just?
I was on a lot of the dates.
Okay.
But not the full.
Not the full ride.
Yeah, he would pick it out, because he's still an up and coming artist too, so his budget isn't insane. So
yeah, so it's got to make sense.
He's got to choose. Yeah, it's got to make sense. Everything's got to work out so we can both benefit off this show.
You guys did touch Australia and India.
Yeah.
Which is huge markets. Like, to even get, I would imagine, to be there.
Yeah, he's killing it out in Australia. He actually had a residency there, so.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that wait, is he from there or no?
No, he's not. His girlfriend is from there, so I don't really know how it all worked out, but his reach over there is pretty good. So he got a residency there at Pacha, and then
residency, that's pretty much you play there once a week.
Yeah, I think you play there pretty often.
Okay, yeah. So it's not like, I don't know. Yeah, I think that's what it is essentially.
Yeah,
you
sure,
like Vegas, you always hear like, I have a residency here,
exactly.
so I'm performing all the time, once a month or once a week, but to have an
I don't know all the details, but
yeah.
So yeah, he had an apartment out there for a little while. So.
One of the videos that whenever I see videos or content of any artist doing this, I think it's like really the lifestyle that they dream of. But you guys were in a festival at Newcastle and then hopped on a flight. It looked like that same day.
Oh yeah.
To then go play another at Brisbane.
Yeah, we literally went from one festival to another, like within 2 festivals in a day. It was pretty wild.
Dude, that is absolutely like a dream.
And that the one in Newcastle was crazy because it was actually in a prison. It was a real prison, and they just
turned it into like a
venue. Is just like, it's crazy.
What?
It was awesome. The feeling was just crazy. Plus the shots I could get there is awesome. And then we finished that when it was pouring, and then we went to Brisbane. For
right on the flight, right over.
Good Life Festival.
Dude,
there was probably 10,000 people there. So
that has got to be such a dream, like to actually see that happen.
Yeah, especially for him. Like, I've pretty much seen him, start his whole career as well. I mean, I wasn't there from the beginning, but I saw it when it was building, and it was just cool to see him
completely grow into what it is today.
Yeah.
Damn, that is amazing. What would you say was the biggest culture shock about being in India for you?
It's wild over there, definitely.
It just looks like a completely different world.
Yeah, it really is. It's almost like there's no rules over there. It's crazy because almost all the police are corrupt. Like, people are just paying them off left and right. They don't really, like, there's a lot of, there's a few gangs out there too as well. So, the police, they're almost scared of, confrontation of any sort. Plus, the actual cities are just the people, and just
they're just so,
it's just swarmed, and there's no regard for driving. It's almost like a free for all. Honestly, it's, as we were in the car, so many times it just felt like we were going head on with a car, and me and Jared are just laughing because it's just wild.
You guys aren't, and you're just sitting in the back seat.
People are just walking in and out, just no regard. They're like, it's almost like they want to get hit. It's wild.
Dude, it's a different world, man. I don't know.
Yeah,
I feel like when you go to Europe, it's obviously something different. But I feel like a lot of it is the same within the U.S.
But yeah,
India just looks like another world of madness and people and busyness, and
it's definitely it's.
You guys looked like you had a good time though.
Oh yeah, it was great. I mean, luckily I wouldn't suggest just going out to India if you're just traveling. Like, you definitely need to know people, because our tour manager told us about. He was from India. He was one of the people out there who set up the the shows.
Oh, I gotcha.
Everything. So he knew what was what was good out there. So he warned us about a lot of things, because it's.
You guys went in there
completely
blind.
Different culture. So, like, some people wouldn't be happy with us just filming them, and there's definitely some sketchy people out there that they don't really care. Like, they'll do whatever. They'll mess you up.
They'll do whatever they want.
Yeah, so it was good to have him. Like, we were just walking down the street one time, and the tour manager, he was like, put your chain away, because I hear people talking how they're just gonna rip it off your neck. Like, it's crazy. Like,
wow.
Yeah, there's a lot of pickpocketers out there too.
Especially when it's heavily populated, that they rip the chain, they're out.
You have no idea. You're walking past so many people, they're just.
And you're not gonna chase them.
Yeah.
They take you down an alley, then you're gonna be in some big trouble.
No, you definitely have to be careful out there.
Damn.
For sure.
That is amazing, man. Freaking India. Who out there would you say you're aspiring to create visual like? Is there anybody that you admire the most that's just killing it, or that you kind of watch and you see some of their content and you're like, damn, I want to get to this person's level, or it motivates you, I guess?
At this point, honestly, I'm sort of looking around. I'm not. I would say further back is when I was really, interested in, like, I was inspired by someone. Right now, I'm more trying to create, my own lane. Like,
yeah.
I'm more focused on me, and I feel like there's so many people, like, it's great. People are at the top. They're at the top for a reason, and they give you inspiration. But I've seen so many times that it's almost like they're just following them so much that they're just copying their entire style, and it's just the only reason that art just continues to thrive is from originality. And it's like, I'm sure you've seen Sam Colder and Rory Kramer, and I feel like a lot of people are just kind of mocking their style. And I mean, it's cool to a certain extent, but there's no really growth from that point.
Yeah. I think like you said, like, it's good when you're starting off. It gives you inspiration.
It gets you
gives you maybe something to try to replicate, so that you can get your understand how like the concept of creating your own visuals works, and
like,
get the
I
ball
found
rolling.
myself, I'm like starting to get like, even copying some of their things, and I'm like, I don't want to do. I'm trying, like, I want to be original. I think that's the most important.
Absolutely,
part, just being original.
That's exactly how they got to. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's why they have the
why
name.
they are
exactly
where they are.
But it's just, I guess, just trial and error, trying to figure out what works for you, what doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, I think once you get to a certain point where you feel comfortable with your skill, it's it's time. That's the time where you decide where you want to make a difference as far as what really, so you can inspire other people. You bring something new to the table, I'd say. So as of right now, I mean, obviously, yeah, it's great to see all those video guys, and they definitely bring inspiration just from their work. It's top
you
quality.
See it, it's like, all right, now I gotta produce something even better.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
it keeps the fire burning.
Yeah, you just want to. So I guess I'm at a point in Jersey where I'm just a little bit. I got into a little rut, so that's why I'm waiting to move out to LA just to. Plus, the vibes out there are insane. I love the ocean. Plus, California is just.
Dude, LA is LA.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm actually pumped that you're moving out there in August, because I'm gonna be in your falling right behind you in September.
Yeah,
and it's gonna be a lot of fun, dude.
I'm hyped.
I just been like, honestly, this summer, I've just been real low key, just trying to stack my bread, just get everything ready to go, because when I get out there, I want to be able to just do everything, network with everybody. If anybody's like, yo, you should come out with it, I don't even want to hesitate. Just you just go for it.
So many times every single time I've been to LA, it's just been an insane story.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah,
we're gonna create some crazy stuff when we both get out there.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
What are you most grateful for today?
Definitely just family and friends. I mean, if Ian sort of, so indie raps, at indie raps,
plug him in.
plug him in.
Follow
yeah,
he kind
of he sort of just brought me in. He's helped me out a lot. Just it was an easy, like, he gave me a spot to live. We work together. He helps me out. I help him out. It's just, honestly, friends, real people, genuine people are the ones. I'm grateful for those people.
Yeah. Those are the people that make the greatest impact. You know what I mean? I think you said before how he just like reached out to you and was like, hey, I got a place to crash if you want to crash.
Yeah. And just,
there's no benefit to him. He's just offering because he sees something in you.
Exactly.
Or he wants to build a relationship because you both clearly are trying to do similar lanes of work.
We're in the same lane as far as music and, give and take relationship.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's good. That's really good. Has there been any, like, now or never moments in the past 6 months or so? Like, I got it. If I don't do this now, it's not going to happen.
I would say just hopping on these tours, honestly, just because, sometimes they're not, this is all I do, so I have to make money off of it, obviously. And sometimes, they're not, the budgeting is not there for you. So it's definitely a decision where, you make, you're not going to make that much money, but you're also never going to be able to experience this if you don't do it now. So
yeah,
I would say those different situations, as far as going to India or Australia or going on tour with Sammy, it's like, you think about it, money, obviously money it's important because you need it to live, but at the same time, I would 100% put experiences over money any day, like traveling, because if you're never going to be able to, like, who knows if you'll ever be able to go into that position ever.
Money can't buy you those opportunities again.
And the thing is, if you just continue to pursue what you love, and obviously, if you're thriving at it, if you're going on tour, the money will come. It always comes.
Yeah.
So
that's a good way to look at it. Just jumping on, even if, like you said, the money isn't exactly it. That's what I try to look at now too. Is no matter what I'm doing, it's not. What's the?
It's almost like you're investing into yourself. Like,
yes.
I mean, the craft, all the experiences. It's just you're just learning.
Even just the traveling, it's like the perspective. Like you said, you're in India. You're just seeing a completely different world.
It's just more inspiration.
Yeah, inspiration makes you realize kind of. We get in the rut of the United States, but look at what's the way some other people are actually like living out there, just completely bare minimum, and
you become grateful too, because it's crazy out there.
Yeah, I'm sure that's another podcast in itself, just to get into the details of that. How much control do you think one person has over their life? Like, how much control do you have over Maddie's life?
How much control? I'd say all of it, because I mean, I'd say 100%. I've made every decision I've made is what's brought me to where I am at this point. There's not really, some people want to get religious as far as God has a path for you. I have nothing against that, but I more see him as someone who could, benefit you in a different way. Like, but as far as reality, the decisions you make, it's all, it's 100% you, I think. Obviously, there's so many people that are going to be able to help you and lend a hand and bring you to that point, but at the end of the day, it's your decision whether you want to do this or not, and that will take you to the next step. So.
Yeah. You have full control. Sometimes there's other external factors that play a role in how things play out, but
I'd say when it comes down to it,
it's all on you.
It's all in your hands.
Yeah,
100%.
Absolutely. This is when I reverse the role. I allow my guests to ask me any one question. It could be about something we've talked about today. It could be about something you want to ask me just in general. It can be any one question.
Who was the most interesting person you've interviewed?
Damn, you're gonna throw me like that. That is so the most interesting.
No shade.
What do you mean by interesting? Because that could go so many different ways. Like, just inspiring story, or just crazy.
Who have you interviewed that inspired you the most?
Damn. You're putting me on the spot. Like, who has inspired me the most? I don't know, man.
That's definitely a tough one.
It's a tough one, and that it goes similar to. It goes similar to the question I get all the time. Same thing. It's just like, what's the best episode? What's the one episode I need to check out? And it's hard to point. There's certain things about every episode that I really like.
Yeah, you take.
And there's certain things. Yeah, and that to me is what's been the most amazing part, is that there's like little gems that you can take away from every episode if you listen through to it. It's just so tough. I mean, I'm just gonna start from like 1 through 10. The first guest I ever had, Jeremy Kogel. He goes from posting about, he ends up emailing this opportunity through Craigslist and ends up getting a job at one of the hottest radio stations in New York City. And then, fast forward to, let's see, we're in the 10s. I'm gonna give you one from every like 10, 12, 13, 14, 15. Huey Mack, episode 18. Was down in school at West Virginia and then dropped out because he saw this passion for music. Or Gibson Hazard, tore his, like, I think it was the Tommy John surgery, picked up a camera in high school, and now he just got off tour with Black and Weeknd. In the 30s, Tim LaRue started a music blog when he was at Boston University right here, and now he manages some of the hottest artists out there. Cousin Stiz, Michael Christmas. So it's just the overall interesting fact that people take these leaps and it actually pans out. Like yourself. Like you took that leap quitting Costco, and then it panned out, and 10 days later you're on the road. I just think it's interesting that these people that have been on the show at least have all had these moments of, what do I do? It's like a split in the road of, do I go left or do I go right? And it always follows through with what they think is going to work. And they just figure it out along the way. I'm going to have to, like, I don't ever, that's why I've never actually gave somebody, like, I really, truly can't give somebody the episode that I'm like, this person has the best episode because they've all played a role in kind of making this what it is. You know what I mean?
To themselves.
Absolutely. And that's what I think is cool. Even like one more, Matt Ray, he professional BMX rider, gold medal at 19 in the X Games in Shanghai, and at 16 told his parents, I'm dropping out, and if you let me, give me till I'm 20, and if I don't have my things together, I'll go back to school. Yeah. And at 19 he won a gold. Like,
that's pretty amazing.
Like, split in the road, followed his passion. So I don't know. I just think it's interesting that people are able to kind of figure it out, and it's not the road that everybody travels. You know, kind of going back to just getting a job and just paying the bills and calling it a day. Like, I'm sure there's a lot, as we talked about, like getting you to where you are today to make a living doing this. Yeah. And to travel. Yeah, I mean, Europe and Australia and India.
There's definitely a point where, you know, you're traveling and just doing work, but to be able to travel and get paid is, you know, different.
Yeah. It's amazing.
It's a next level.
Yeah, it's another level. Like, you're in Boston today, you leave tomorrow probably, and then you're moving to LA. Like, you're always on the go, but you kind of just make it work to what you want. So that was a good question. I'll definitely give you credit for that because you got me sitting over here like, oh, he's gonna go with this. He's gonna go with the most interesting. Like, what the fuck am I supposed to say to this?
Do it look like I'm
that Closing questions. I want you to imagine there's a picture frame on this wall somewhere. Yeah. Of you, 10 years from now. What and who do we see within that picture frame?
What do we see?
Yep. Who's in it or what's in it? What's in that picture frame 10 years from now?
That's a tough one. I'd say you'd see a lot of my best friends, and hopefully looking fly as hell.
Of course. Always got to be looking fly.
Yeah, I don't know. I would say it would just be probably the people, you know, I would come up with, and that hopefully they'd be there. Yeah. You know, all throughout it. That's the plan. I mean, you never want to just. Yeah, I mean, you want to do it on your own, but you also want to have your boys come up with you. Like, that's the goal.
That is absolutely the goal. See everybody kind of rise together.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Be sitting in the house in the hills in LA.
I mean, yeah, that's funny that you say that, because that is actually where I'm actually moving out there with Party Thieves. It's me, Party Thieves, Indy, a few other music producers, and we actually got a spot in the hills, which is pretty dope.
How's it feel?
It's great. It's a good feeling. I'm definitely excited. It's just gonna bring so much. This is what I'm waiting for as far as motivation and just a new light. Kind of getting bogged up here in Jersey, so
yeah, there's a lot of energy on that city. Yeah, and like we said, you know, you just going out, you bump shoulders with somebody.
I mean,
endless opportunities.
The thing is, I feel like, you know, Ian's like, as far as going out there, you know, you're gonna meet someone that introduces you to, you know, the person that's gonna change your life.
Yeah. I don't think it's a smart move for people when they're just getting started, but I think when you have something moving,
definitely,
that's where you want to be.
I would get to a certain foundation before you make any big steps. Yeah. As far as that.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I'd say a picture frame would just be my boys, and hopefully,
looking fly as hell, killing it.
Yeah, hopefully.
Where can people find you on social media?
At Matty Lohman, MattyLohmann, Instagram, Twitter,
Snapchat.
That's Chief. That's Chief.Lohman.
Chief.
I'm still waiting on Snapchat to.
They haven't hit you back about
have the give me a one-time name change.
I don't think they're gonna allow it. I tried emailing them too. They're just like, get out of here, bro. Like, who do you think you are?
Bigger fish to
You're
fry.
podcaster. You're not even shit, bro. Get out of here. Fuck. Last question for you. Somebody that's listening in, trying to figure out what their passion is, what their purpose is. They've tried a lot of things, or maybe they just haven't found the one.
Yeah.
What 2 to 3 pieces of advice would you give to them?
I'd say just, keep going about your life, shy away from the things that don't make you happy, obviously, and at some point you're going to find something that, just sparks, and you're just like, wait, I enjoy this so much, and hopefully you're able to, make something out of it. I mean, honestly, my entire growing up, my plan was to go to the Marines.
Wow.
Because my brother's in the Marines, and me and him were always so close, and my friend Dane, we had this plan, and then it's honestly unexpected, I never expected to have a camera, living off of a camera, never. It's like, you don't really, if you're looking for something so hard, it's not, there's really no point. It's more of like, you're just discovering it. It's like, wow, this is something I could do, live. Like, you'll find your passion. It's just, I'd just say, expect the unexpected. Just live your life, and hopefully, something will come that really catches you.
It all just falls into place.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any really, advice I could give as far as just telling you how to get to this point. It's just, it really is, all these stories are just like, it's just a step. I would say, you have to take a step that you wouldn't normally take, and you don't know what's going to happen after that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Matty Lohman, thank you for coming on the podcast.
Of course.
My man.
Thank you.
Absolutely, dog. We'll catch you guys next time.
See ya.
See ya.